every time I try to enjoy a zinger, it gets zapped.
Give me your shit.
You mean like this, bitch?
Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. So, this past weekend, as of this recording, Apple TV just premiered The Snoopy Show. And I was surprised to learn that there were some mixed reactions to just the announcement of this. You can understand that people would say, well, we don't have Charles Schultz ain't around anymore. They've tried some Peanuts and Charlie Brown stuff. It was all right, but it ain't like it was when the man was around. And now you just gonna give this dog his own show. The dog who was good as a side character, he don't even talk. All he do is start shit with people. All he don't respect his owner at all. No. Got more game than his owner.
Tons more game.
Yeah, tons more game. The dude actually kind of makes me mad. You know, I can see why people just kind of like, you know, I can see why people, when this was announced, I'm like, man, fuck Snoopy. You know? I can get why people would have the reaction that is negative to the Snoopy Show.
Well, it's said that Snoopy is who we want to be, but Charlie Brown is who we are.
Yeah, and people don't want to see themselves in it.
Speak for yourself,
man. People want to be Snoopy, but we're all losers. Like we're all failure faces like Charlie Brown over here. Now, we have our man Al Tariq from Toonerific. Tariq, that's his channel. He talks about animation. He talks about the tunes. And just like myself, he is a black male that loves the Peanuts. Now, somebody stop. Somebody heard they want to hear.
Hey, man, a little more context there.
Somebody heard what they want to hear.
I was just thinking, so was George Washington Carver.
Yeah. Y'all know what we're talking about. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for The Snoopy Show. Another reason why people had the reaction that they did, you know, this, I don't want to always say negative, but there was some uncertainty with the Snoopy Show. And the main reason why a lot of people had this is probably like me, man. You know, one could argue that Charlie Brown has gone light these days. You know, they kind of punking out. The most classic ones, they were some of the first children's properties to just no holds barred. Just tell children, not adults, tell children straight up, life is fucked up. And
yeah, you think it sucks right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it really does.
Yeah.
I know what all these other cartoons are telling you, but that's no.
No, all this G.I. Joe giving you a lesson and everything. Yeah. No, man. No, it ain't like that. No, they're the ones that tell kids like, hey, look, life is messed up, man. And this, like, you wouldn't be able to do some of the stuff that they did back in the day.
Kids are soft now.
Yeah, kids are getting
They can't handle it.
Hey, you suffering from depression? So what? Get over it.
Well, I can understand how you feel. And you made a fool out of yourself and everything.
He's like, God damn, man.
Oh, and here's this gun and this noose right here. I'm not saying to use them, but I'm just saying, you know.
But it's like, I'm sure you feel like shit, and you want to just die, and you let everyone down, and boy, you fucked up.
You really have no reason to live, but...
What's that talk? What's that?
The thing about that clip is, like, right before that, Linus goes, like, because Charlie Brown doesn't get out of bed, and, like, he's like, oh, we just had a ball game. And Charlie Brown's like, I don't care. I'm not going to play ball anymore. He's like, it's the first game we won all season. It's like, why the hell did you say that?
Yeah. Like this group secretly got together and said, we want him to commit suicide. We don't like him. And that's from a boy named Charlie Brown, where Charlie Brown just messed up at the spelling bee, came back in the town, who, for once in Charlie Brown's life, respected him. Not loved, just respected. Just didn't say anything 100% cruel to him, and he messed up spelling the word beagle, the name of the breed of his dog. And when he got home, it was cold. Nobody was waiting on him. They let him know, we hate you still, Charlie Brown, and you did this to yourself.
But did you notice something, Charlie Brown? What's that? The world didn't come to an end.
That's the message, people. Hey, you having a rough time? Hey, kid, you having a bad day? World's still here and it's going on.
Yeah.
World don't give a fuck about you. It's gonna keep spinning.
The sun is gonna rise tomorrow, so get up.
I do have one thing in Charlie Brown's defense, though. Linus turned into a crackhead when he lost his blanket, though.
Oh, he did.
Okay, so it's like,
He did.
fuck you and your advice.
But also not in Charlie Brown's defense, because I'm on Charlie Brown's side. But not spelling beagle? Come on, man. You don't get roasted over some shit like that.
You had one time. But it's not just Charlie Brown. All these kids have problems. And these specials tell these kids, you know what? That's just how life is.
Yeah.
You can either be, hey, look, you can either be fucked up alone or you can be fucked up with the rest of us. Like with the Halloween special, man.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's just like, hey, you know what? Living in denial is better than reality.
Well, don't take it too hard, Linus. I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, too. You'll see. Next year at this same time.
Well, I'll fucking kill you.
I love Charlie Brown's reaction, because I feel like that way with people. I'm just talking to somebody, they going off, and I'm like, oh my God, you're psychotic. And I didn't realize that till just now.
Yeah, Charlie Brown looked at him like, y'all call me crazy.
That's the thing. That's why Linus got mad. He's like, "Whoa, don't put me in a box with you, Charlie Brown. I ain't a bitch like you. Great Pumpkin's gonna be here, goddammit."
Charlie Brown is like,
I'm sad, but you're crazy.
yeah, Charlie Brown is like, look, I might be depressing, but I'm the only normal one around you people. And that's the biggest one. It's like, hey, you know, this is why Charlie Brown could not exist today, the way it did back then. One of the big key things, bullying. They did that to him all the time.
Yeah.
And you know what they did? They didn't make him look like, they didn't try to like look at Charlie Brown and say, oh man, look at this victim right here. What are we gonna do about bullying? The specials usually say, nah, he deserved that shit.
You've been dumb before, Charlie Brown, but this time you really did it.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. And I'm 5, 4, 3.
It was no lesson to be learned there. You know what? No, there was a lesson, the meaning of Christmas, but the meaning of bullying. Hey, buck up and take it. Take it.
It did just show the inherent tribalism of kids.
You did, yeah.
But to me, what's even worse than that, because that's bad. That's his peers doing that to him. But he goes out trick-or-treating, and adults are bullying him, giving him rocks.
Yeah.
Like who even has rocks to give out?
In that neighborhood, they do. Yeah. Because they know Charlie Brown's going to be there.
Them just for him.
Yeah. They like, and
it's multiple houses, too. It's not even he goes to every house. They all have rocks.
Yeah. It's like there was a PTA meeting where like, so what do we decide on the rock thing for Charlie Brown?
Yeah.
And all in favor. Aye. All right.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
And you know the rocks were just the start. You know them apples had razor blades. Had needles and shit.
Syringes and apples.
And they were like, bitch, we know it's you under there. Who else can mess up a ghost costume unless it's Charlie Brown? Yeah, bitch, we know it's you. Here, take this. You better be glad to chunk this shit at your head. What's that?
He could have. I never got that because he could have started over, but he just used the same sheet and just like.
It's like his mama said, "I don't want you messing up my good sheets. You get this one."
Yeah, you get this one. Next time you get a trash bag. Yeah,
fuck that up too.
Yeah, they like, bitch, we know it's your little ass under there. Who else would fuck up a ghost costume except Charlie Brown? You know what? Get the out of my yard. Fucking the hose. Hey, y'all better get your friend and get him out of here. But now, the reason I want to point all those out right there, we're just having a fun conversation, but I want to show all of those because all of those are examples of what people say Peanuts was back in the day and the thing that made it what it was. It was just a harsh reality while also being able to just somehow still be cheerful and amusing and still be somewhat lovable too. They had bullying, depression, despair, and yet they made all of that fun and lovable. So to look at what they're doing right here with this, some people say they missed that, and they hope that we can get back into it. But in these times, because they say it's a little light, but in these times, I would say that light is not a bad thing. There's enough people. These kids have enough to deal with that.
They do. And we grew up at a time, especially in the 70s, where this is what they gave us. We got used to it.
And we got used to it. The Peanuts, and Tariq, I'm going to give this to you. The Peanut specials being one thing, that's what they are. And maybe one day, we'll get one or two specials every now and then, or a movie or something, where maybe they can be like the old Peanuts back in the day, like we just showed you. But the Snoopy Show is much lighter, man. And I got to tell you, it's adorable. It's just fun, and it's taking more nostalgia in some of the more light-hearted things that Peanuts did, especially with Snoopy. This is more focused on Snoopy and his overactive imagination. You know, he's always thinking about being the Red Baron, going through enemy lines and whatnot. You know that he's always doing things to show up the rest of the group, and he's always taking where Charlie Brown might be a little depressed about what's happening to him. Snoopy always takes that in stride. Snoopy's always confident. Snoopy's like, you know what? I don't give a shit what you have to say. It is, you know, and while it's a Snoopy Show, they still manage to keep the nostalgia of all the characters and give them a chance to shine with the things that we love about them. You know, Linus still has the security blanket. We still have Woodstock in there. Charlie Brown is still a blockhead, but he's less abused in this.
Yeah.
Lucy is still a bitch. Peppermint Pat is still lesbian, along with Marcy. Yeah.
Pigpen's still funky.
Pigpen don't get corona. You know, that was that episode.
Pigpen's still poor.
Yeah, still poor. Franklin's still the black dude that don't do shit. I would say family-oriented show in a way that if you really look, if it weren't the Peanuts, this would be more of a children's show. But with the nostalgia of the Peanuts there, it is something that the whole family can get into and watch together. No heavy messages, no heavy abuse here like you saw back in the day. It really is one of the most lighthearted things that they've done in a while, besides the Peanuts movie that we just saw. And it's even more, it's more lighthearted than that. I think it's exactly what we need at this moment, man. You know, let me let Tariq get in.
Yeah. I mean, I will chime in, but let Tariq, you know, go first.
Nah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. It is really like, it reminded me of, I think that might have been the 80s when they did the Charlie Brown and Snoopy show, which was just kind of like
the Saturday morning show.
The one on Saturday morning.
It reminds me of that a lot.
Yeah. Rerun was on that.
It's like
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Rerun was in that a lot. He was like behind his mom's
bicycle.
His mom used to, yeah. That's like prime Rerun, but I feel like these are definitely like that. They even kind of follow the same kind of formula, and I think is animated like insanely well.
The showrunners and the animators and the artists, they really did pay attention to the original look of the characters, and not just how they look, but how the background fits, how ancillary things around them fit, side things around them fit. Also, the animation style. Peanuts, that's what really appealed to a lot of kids like myself, is that they just had a unique drawing style and animation style. And that animation, bringing these characters into animation, is a very, very, very detailed thing, and they nailed it.
They really did. And even though it's a little bit, it's only slightly more frenetic or kinetic than it had been before, but just enough to sell the gags. You know, I'm not one to feel like, well, this is what we need in these times, just something lighter, because times are times. But I was like, well, it's kind of light. Maybe it's more for little kids. But then I went back and started watching from the first episode, and just doing the origin of Snoopy, I was like, oh, hold on. No, they're nailing it. They got me here. The origin of Snoopy and then how Snoopy and Woodstock met.
Yes.
And just that from the beginning, Charlie, the whole thing where Snoopy's like wrote out this great story of who he was, this historical thing, and Charlie Brown's like, no, he ain't do all that shit. I adopted him from a farm. Everybody's like, but that story's boring. and him bringing Snoopy home and like, all right, I'm gonna feed him, give him dog food, and Snoopy's like, food? He just go to the fridge. Yeah. He doesn't just go to the fridge and get food. He makes himself a homemade pizza. And I was like, all right, this right here, I'm in love with this now.
Yeah, like
I want to watch all of it.
When they tell him when he says shake and he's so cool, he goes to he's like, look, I ain't doing this basic shit. I'm like, you want a shake? I'm gonna show you a shake. Goes and actually makes a milkshake. What you have to understand is like a lot of the stuff that you love about Peanuts is all the characters, but Snoopy really played a huge part in it and how cool he was, and just how confident that character is. Because all these characters, the Peanuts gang is they're very flawed in one way or another. It's not just Charlie Brown.
Oh,
they're
no.
all very flawed.
Oh, yeah.
The only one that really had the most confident was a character who wasn't human.
Sure.
It was Snoopy.
Sure.
And he balanced the whole thing out.
And when he's with the humans, he's the coolest guy there. It's only when he's on his own and like Woodstock comes to the mix where things don't always go his way.
Right, it's true.
And it's great seeing the other side of how Woodstock, like you get deeper with their relationship. Woodstock and Snoopy, where they just, at times they don't get
that
along.
shit when they become roommates. It's true. They were nailing everything that's wrong with having a
I couldn't
roommate.
stop laughing at that shit. 'Cause you see him like visualize like it's gonna be dope. We gonna be drinking root beer, like watching the game. Like he comes over, they throwing a party and shit. Like he's like, what the fuck?
It is. Listen, that's one of the ways that this show was actually. It appeals to older audiences and adults. Everybody who's had a roommate, but no, let me change that. Everybody who moved in with a friend,
yeah.
thought how great this is going to be. We'll be able to do things that we do, like when we hang out, we can do this all the time. And then they get that one day they get on your nerves. They invite other people over. They're dirty. They're throwing parties, and it's just kind of like everybody's been through that before. So it still has little parts in there where it does relate to older people, man. But it's just, the biggest thing with this is that it's able to be so sweet-natured without feeling phony. And it does not feel fake at all.
It doesn't feel phony.
Yeah, I really did enjoy this, man. And I'm saying this as I thought I would be biased because, I'm such a big Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and Peanuts fan. But it's a great callback to like when you grew up with the specials. And if you didn't grow up with the specials, this is a great introduction to new generations of kids who are coming up and haven't never seen those before. They still have these characters doing their things, man. Schroeder's still playing the piano, playing Beethoven. Lucy's still driving everybody crazy to where they need therapy, and she's a therapist. Yeah, man, all these kids are still doing their thing. But this is a Dolly Madison commercial from back in the day. They had these kids eating these pies and cakes like crazy because they sold them.
Just give me the facts. Every time I try to enjoy a zinger, it gets zapped.
Give me your shit.
You mean like this, bitch?
Every time I try to enjoy a zinger, it gets zapped. See? I didn't see anything.
When you have zingers around, there's no escaping the zinger zapper.
Man, fuck you.
I'll take your shit too.
Yeah, those Dolly Madison commercials, man. Those were just like the Charlie Brown specials were a part of the holidays.
So were those commercials.
Those commercials, I didn't back before I even used to eat some of those things. I had to see those commercials with it.
Yeah, my parents wouldn't buy them.
Them cakes look nasty as hell now. Look at that, man.
Yeah, now I'm an adult. I'm like,
No, back in the day though.
After Charles Schultz died, there was that kind of short period where they like Bill Melendez was still around, so he was still kind of doing them a little bit. And like every once in a while, like one of my grandparents would come home with one of those, and I'll watch one of them. Like one of them that I really liked was Lucy Must Be Traded, where like. And I watched it again recently. Lucy, they kind of just swapped Lucy and Charlie Brown. It's really weird to see, but like, Lucy is horrible at baseball to the point where Charlie Brown's like vetting the line. And she's like, "Yo, your sister, we got to get her out of here. Like, I don't know what's going on, but she can't play the game. She can't play the game of baseball, and she's so stupid. She like in the middle of the game, she's like baking a pizza. And she's like, yo, hold on. So she runs to the crib and gets the peas. And then, like, the baseball lands in the pizza. And she's like, oh, I caught it. And it's like, Charlie Brown's like, yo, if you don't get out of here, like,
And they always gave Charlie Brown shit, man. That's a great observation, man. That's a great observation. Yo, I'm like you, man. I watch those specials every year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have to. I got them on my computer, man.
Well,
I
there was a big uproar this year because Apple TV is holding them hostage now.
Yeah.
They're not just on TV where everybody can watch them.
There's ways. It is really adorable, man. It is so much fun. Watched this with my wife, and she could not wait to watch another episode. And the whole time, she just kept saying, "So cute, so cute."
It also fits that new aesthetic, like most of the Nickelodeon cartoons, where you're getting 2 or 3 mini episodes per episode.
Yeah. So if I had to give it something, I'd say full price.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a full price, man. It's a lot of fun. I couldn't wait to get back on.
I would go full price because it's extremely sincere and it has all of the elements They even, because my favorite aspects are like Charlie Brown and the gang, and they bring them in a lot. There's a lot of like Peppermint Patty, Marcy, like everything's there for everybody, no matter what you like from these characters. And it's just really nice to see them again. All the kids sound great, all the new actors and everything like that.